The elections in Pakistan have been marred with allegations of rigging and other electoral malpractices. Sharif's party, Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, has rejected the results, claiming widespread rigging. India's former Chief Electoral Commissioner, Dr. S.Y. Quraishi, is in Pakistan as an election observer. WION spoke to Dr. Quraishi on his views about the polls in Pakistan. Take a look.
Yes, I have with me Dr. S.Y. Quraishi Sahab, the former Chief Election Commissioner of India, who is here in Pakistan in Islamabad to observe the election as part of the Commonwealth Observer team that was observing the Pakistani elections just 2 days back. And he's currently here with me right now. Let's just ask him some questions. Sir, you were here in Pakistan. You briefly observed the election process. How fair and transparent it was in your opinion, and what were the problems that you saw in as compared to the Indian system? Can you briefly explain?
Well, basically the two systems are the same. The two people are also same. We found the election very nice, very good, very competently organized. It was very peaceful, which was extremely important in the context of militant attacks in the recent past. And people came out very enthusiastically. The turnout was much better than the last election. Women turn out in large numbers. There was a sense of festival. There were some concerns which were expressed by political parties in their briefings before the election, that the army has been deployed and then they will be also posted inside the polling station. So we were particularly careful to watch that phenomenon, how they conduct themselves, and we were told, we had a briefing at the army headquarters also, and we asked them specifically why so much of army has been deployed. We are the election commission, why have you requisitioned so much of army? They said in the last election 2013, army was deployed in a smaller number, but they were outside the polling stations, and inside the polling station there were complaints of rigging in many places, particularly Karachi. So, but because the army was deployed and still rigging took place, the army got a bad name. Therefore, they decided that a man posted out inside also will make sure that no irregularity takes place inside the polling station. We were keenly observed whether they are interfering or not. We found they were just standing around in a corner, watching over the proceedings, and the boss of the show was the presiding officer in every place. And in any case, we didn't come across any unruly situation where the army or the police would have had to play a very aggressive role. It was all very smooth and peaceful.
Sir, in comparison with the Indian electoral system, how do you see the Pakistani electoral system? Because you've recently observed an election here, and then you were the chief election commissioner in India. So how do you see the difference?
You know, we for the last 67, 68 years, we have been conducting elections, and every election is better than the previous best. Our election is regarded as a gold standard and acknowledged worldwide because we have learned from experience. Pakistan that way has a relatively smaller experience. I'm sure they will also consolidate. This election of Pakistan is better than the previous one from all accounts that we have heard and observed. Therefore, but the basic difference is that we use EVMs, and EVMs have made Indian elections so much smoother, and the counting process so quick and reliable. So it is working very well, and otherwise, by and large, the system is the same. I would say the Election Commission of Pakistan is as powerful as India. In fact, in many respects, a little more powerful. One criticism against us is that we are the most powerful commission in the world, but our appointment system is defective. We are appointed by the government of the day without consulting the opposition. In your case, the commissioners are appointed by the government after consultation between Prime Minister and the leader of opposition. Therefore, who can raise any finger against the appointee? And then there is a parliamentary committee which also endorses this appointment. So that makes the appointment system totally transparent and above board. And they have all the power that we have. And on top of that, since they are judges, We know in India and Pakistan, judges carry more credibility than civil servants. In India, it has always been civil servants, but we have been conducting elections very well, and it's a miracle that we enjoy nation's trust.
Sir, we saw a greater women turnout in this elections, particularly in Pakistan. How do you see that?
Yes, with the good, because we saw that the voter education program was quite powerful. We saw all over the place, the advertisements and posters and educational messages encouraging people to come out and vote. There was voter education about the procedure and processes so that they don't make mistakes. And political parties also, of course, motivate their voters to come out in larger numbers. So that which is why I said the voter participation was very enthusiastic, and we commend the people of Pakistan for participating in democracy so enthusiastically.
So, but by and large, except for one political party, the Pakistan tehreek-e-insaf, that has taken majority, the rest of the parties, including the Awami National Party, the Pakistan People's Party, the PMLN, all of them, they've been united, let's say, on this point, and by the looks of it, they say that there have been massive rigging that has taken place. What is your take on that, considering that you have observed the elections firsthand?
Because we didn't observe any of the rigging they're talking about. And of course, we have been hearing that the rigging took place before the election. And then we wanted to know before election what kind of rigging happened. We were told that some leaders were poached from other parties. They were made to return their tickets and given the tickets of the new party. But that is the kind of political engineering which happens even in India. There are people keep changing their political loyalty. There are defections all the time. Therefore, to call it rigging, I don't think that's the right word to use for this. Rigging is only when you stuff the ballot boxes with bogus votes and malpractices in the actual conduct of elections, which we didn't see. Therefore, and if political parties are raising questions, I'm sure the laws provide for dispute resolution. The Election Commission will look into all these complaints and give its verdict.
Sir, just last two questions before I let you go. How do you see Imran Khan as the Pakistani Prime Minister, considering that he's taken majority? How do you see him with the relations in context of relations with India?
I don't know whether, in my capacity as an observer, I should comment on a politician, but maybe I would like to say that he is basically a sportsman, and once a sportsman, always a sportsman. I think he will be sporting in his political life as well. And sportsmen are very fair in their dealings. They are very, very large-hearted and very positive. And one hopes that the two countries will benefit from his background.
So you think that with him being in office, Pakistan-India relation is likely to improve?
I would hope so. In fact, his opening statement of yesterday was very encouraging. He said he will not be vindictive, he will make a new beginning. If India takes one step forward, he will take two steps forward. Only thing is that this kind of language we have heard from other leaders also before. But later on, what happens, we don't know. So hope he is able to fulfill what he set out to do, what he promised yesterday.
So last question before I let you go. You were in Pakistan briefly since 23rd, and you'd be leaving on the 30th. So how was your stay over here in Pakistan, and any fond memories, and would you like to come back?
Well, that's a good question. We have very lovely memories because Pakistani people are extremely hospitable. Your hospitality is very well known. Wherever we went, we met people who were very warm and cordial. And in fact, I must have put on a couple of kilograms.
What was the most favorite food that you had?
Food. Well, I think the biryani, which is a very popular food in India, also seems to be the most popular food here. So everywhere we went, and that was always there.
Was it as good as India?
Yeah, well, Delhi biryani is the best, but then I would say Islamabad biryani is second best, shall we say. So, but I was also surprised that your mangoes are very good. There was a time I remember in 50s and 60s and up to 70s when our relatives from Karachi would come to Delhi, they would devour two things, mangoes and pan. Pan they will also bring back, mangoes they'll bring back. But I think now you have lovely varieties. Very delicious mangoes we had, which was nice.
So you would like to come back to Pakistan?
Oh, yes, it's always nice to come back among friends, and yes, so long as you're friendly.
Taking our good memories.
Yes.
So thank you so much for speaking to WION. That was Dr. S.Y. Quraishi Sahab, who's here in Pakistan, former Chief Election Commissioner of India. He's here in Pakistan as part of the Commonwealth Observer team for the elections, and he observed the elections, and you heard him there say that they did not observe any problems as such, and that the rigging allegations that were reported, they could not, any substance could not be found in that. Back to the studio.